Hey YouTube, Rando here. Today we're doing another video in the series Ultimate Preps, and today we're going to be talking about salt. Now with salt, there's different kinds you can prep with. Some people use just regular kosher table salt. Some people prep with sea salt, which is a little bit more expensive, but better to cook with if you ask me. And then there's canning and pickling salt. Now, I prep with just regular salt and canning and pickling salt. I don't prep with sea salt just because it's so expensive. But if I can afford some, we use it for cooking, so I'll pick some up. And sometimes we use it, and then sometimes we just use this for cooking. Now, everybody knows you can preserve meat. You can make biltong, you can make beef jerky. You can use it in canning and stuff like that, but there's a lot of stuff salt does that people don't know. Like it makes a great vegetable cleaner. You can protect from grease splatter whenever you're cooking bacon. You can get rid of frosty windows. You can condition your wicker chairs, clean your iron, clean spills. It'll chill your drinks faster. You can even use it to fight fires. Keep fish from sticking to the pan when you're cooking it. Clean dough from a countertop if you're making bread. Clean burnt milk stains. You can use it to perk up your coffee if you're drinking coffee from the morning and the afternoon. You can use it to perk up your coffee. Prevent dripping candles. Renew used sponges. Loosening soot. Freshen shoes. You can use it for drain renewal for your kitchen sink. You can remove odors from your hands. Make your broom last longer, get rid of dandruff, poison ivy, or help with poison ivy rather, and shine brass and copper. And there's a lot more that you can do, and I suggest you do a little bit of research and just look into it. There's plenty of cool things you can do with salt, especially if you have like salt, baking soda, vinegar, these main things. You can make some awesome cleaners with it. So let's go over a few of the things that you can do, like cleaning your vegetables. Just make a light salt water solution and give them a bath. It actually works really well with leafy greens, but it'll work with vegetables, tomatoes, stuff like that as well. So to protect from grease splatter, you just add salt to the pan when you're frying your bacon or sausage, and it's less likely to pop. For a good frost fix on your windows, dissolve a tablespoon of salt in a gallon of hot water, rub it on the windows, and with another cloth wipe off the excess. It'll get rid of those frosty windows. To condition wicker, bathe it in a salt water solution when it's new, like when you first buy it, and it'll help protect it from the sun. To clean your iron, you just sprinkle a little bit on some plain white paper like copy paper, and iron it on low heat with no steam. It'll get all that gunk from starch and whatnot on your iron. To chill your drinks faster, you just sprinkle ice over your salt before you add it to your cooler. It makes it kind of like a dry ice. To fight grease fires, you just throw handfuls of salt at the base of the fire. Same concept as baking soda. Keep your milk fresh longer, and this does work. For sure, this is something I've tested many times. We do this every time we buy a gallon of milk. You just add a pinch of salt to it. After you open it, it doesn't make it taste any different, and that milk will last about a week longer than it would have if you didn't have anything in it. Let's see, for your doughy counters, if you have bread dough on your counter, you just sprinkle a little bit of salt on it and then wipe it down with a wet sponge, and the salt will act like an abrasive, and it'll, kind of like a sandpaper almost. It'll pull that dough right up. To perk up your coffee, like, you have old coffee and you don't want to waste it. It's from the morning, it's evening now. Add a pinch of salt and a little bit of fresh water and heat it up in the microwave, and that coffee, it's not too bad. So that works as well. Many times we'll make a pot of coffee and there'll be half a pot at noon, and I'll want another cup of coffee, and we're not going to waste and just make a new pot for one cup of coffee. For drip-free candles, you just soak them in a strong saltwater solution after you buy them. You heat up some water, add salt until it won't dissolve anymore, and then you just soak your candles in there for about 2 hours and remove them and dry. Let them dry before you light them, of course. And this will help create a drip-free candle. To renew your sponges, fill a bucket with a mixture of a quarter cup of salt and a quart of warm water. You can soak your mops in these as well, and sponges. Do it for like 8 to 10 hours, and when you pull it out, all that gunk will be in the water. For loosening soot, like in your fireplace, just throw a couple handfuls of salt in there. Not only does it loosen the soot, but it actually burns like a cool yellow color. It's actually pretty cool looking. Let's see. For your drain, pour a half a cup of salt down the drain in your kitchen sink or bathroom, whatever, and just run hot water through it. It'll act as an abrasive again, and it'll take the stuff off the walls of the drainage. To make your brooms last longer, again, just like the wicker, except this case you're going to soak the bristles in a bucket of warm water and salt for about half an hour. Let it dry, and your broom will last twice as long, especially if you buy cheap brooms like us. For dandruff problems, now I know a lot of people's going to think this is gross, but it's true, and it does work. If you're afflicted with dandruff, you just rub 2 tablespoons of salt on your scalp, and then shampoo it and condition it as you would regularly. And believe it or not, it'll pull all those flakes out from your scalp. During the winter, sometimes I get dry scalp, especially if we switch up shampoos. My hair don't like change, so I'll use that method, and the dry scalp's completely gone. For poison ivy, you just soak the affected area in a strong salt bath. Make sure your water's warm. To shine brass and copper, you just make a paste of 1 part salt, 1 part flour, and 1 part vinegar. Rub the paste into the item, then rinse it with warm water and buff it, and it'll shine that copper and brass right up. Like I said before, there's a lot of stuff you can do with salt that I'm not listing here. So I suggest everybody just go and look into it. You have salt licks for hunting, stuff like that, the obvious stuff. But then there's a lot more you can do that you don't realize, especially cleaners. Salt and cleaners, like a vinegar cleaner or something like that, the salt will act as an abrasive. So just keep that in mind when you're making your own cleaners. I just suggest everybody look into what you can do with salt. It is actually a very good ultimate prep to me. We prep with a lot of salt, so it's actually pretty cheap to prep with too. You can pick it up for 50 cents a pound, something like that. So, alright YouTube, hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you soon with another video. Thanks for watching.